Happy Friday, Roulette Fools. Brent with AOB. We are going to get right into our $1,000,000 challenge today. Our balance is doing really well. I'll bring up the sheet here in just a second. We're going to start out with 5 double streets, and then we're actually going to rotate through a couple other strats. We're going to go to 9 streets. I'm going to show you some variations of some 9 streets. We're going to jump into Mickey Mouse again, and we're going to do spreader streets. So we're going to kind of rotate through as we get to our goal. I actually already reached my goal today, and we're far ahead because I'm actually playing on stake and on, I'm tapering off on shuffle. I'm bringing all my stuff back over to stake, primarily playing stake. But while I have some funds over there, I'm continuing to play. I had a banger of a day yesterday on shuffle. I kind of went degen. I promised myself that I would try not to go degen with this balance because this is the balance that counts. Even though that money does count, I'm not adding it to the spreadsheet until I pull it over into stake. So if I go degen and I lose it, I lose it. And it's not going to throw me off track here. But yesterday I went over there and I bet the max. I bet everything I had over there quite a few times. And somehow I won, and I actually won $12,000 over there yesterday. So it was sort of an accident, happy accident, if you would. So we're going to get going, though. This is what, we started around the 14th, I believe. So we're crushing it. I'm going to pull up the chart here in a second, and I'm going to answer some questions that I see a lot of people ask all the time over and over. So let me pull up in the chart here for you, and you can see kind of where we're at here. But you can see our profit right now, and our total balance is $17,461. It's going to be a little bit higher. Remember, our daily goal right now by month is only $225 a day, and I say only in quotes. All right, that's still going. Only in quotes. It's still a decent amount of money, right? $225 every day, but it's a high percentage of our, relative to the rest of this, it's a high percentage. So we are going to continue on that, but we are doing far and ahead above that. You can see the daily challenge right now. By the end of the month, all right, we just lost. Thanks, dude. By the end of the month, we were to have a balance of $9,050 by the end of January. By the end of February, to be on track, we need to be at $18,050. And right now we're at 17,000 some. So we're really close. We're about $1,000, less than 1,000 away from being our target goal by the end of February. So we're well over a month and a half ahead. So we want to keep that. Progress ahead of us, but we don't want to risk anything. So we're kind of going low and slow and taking it easy. And if we were to lose at maybe 3 progressions is what I've promised myself. If I lose like the get to the third progression and lose, I just stop, take a break, and we come back to it. And I don't come back to it at the amount that I left off. I just start again because we have that buffer. I'm not going to risk it. And we all know one of the lessons from the 100,000 challenge was you risk it, you get down, say $8,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 below, and then I have to fight to get all the way back up. And you will do it, right? The number of times you're going to win on these high coverage systems or even systems that you play that you're comfortable with, you should be winning more than you're losing. It's when you lose big. That's what gets you. So we're going to prevent the big losses this time around, and then we'll just grind it back because I've ground back from, I think there was the best grind back I think we had on the 100K challenges. We went down, we had a $10,000 playable balance. We went down by $9,200 or $9,400 we lost. And with the remaining $600 live, it took over 3, maybe 4 hours, but we ground back every single dollar from a $600 or $700 balance. We won all that back and then went ahead like $200-$300. So if we can do that, then think how easy it will be if we get down by $300-$400 here, take a break and come back and just grind back nice and slow. All right, here we are. We're going to just play a little bit more here on the 5 double streets. We're at $100. Remember, our daily target's just $225, roughly $224, I think. So we're already almost halfway there. And we're going to do a switcheroo here in a second. The other question was, people are asking about this spreadsheet. Where can I get this spreadsheet? Jump on our Discord. This is SoCal made this for me. I was telling them, hey, I want a tracker. I was showing the tracker that I used to use. How can we do it a little bit easier on a single page? So he made that really nice tracker, and you can download it from our Discord. Get in there. You'll need to verify your Discord account. So if you jump in and you don't see that channel or the other channels, it's because you're not verified. So get into our Discord, verify your account. It's just an email account. It prevents people from creating duplicate accounts, and you'll have this. Now, that being said, it doesn't have this. This is just my own stuff, but maybe I'll talk to DGen. Let's unhide this stuff. I put these in here. Here was a fixed. So initially when I was trying to decide my, I'm going to turn the sound on here just so I can hear when the ball lands. And I'm going to turn off desktop sounds. There we go. What do we get? All right, there we go. We're still winning. What is it? HTF, y'all streak like this is bull. HTF. How the fuck y'all streak? Whatever. So when I was determining my happy path of what I'm going to set my daily targets at, what my monthly target to achieve 1 million, this one was based on a percent of my current balance, playable balance, right? And my objective was, as I've already explained to you, make it easier and easier percentage-wise to get it. So that's what this one did. But then I went, what would be just a fixed target amount all the way through? And as you can see, the fixed target amount, if we did 1.86 every day, but the advantage of that one, the advantage of this one is your initial is really low, relatively really low, right? Compared to what we're doing now, 225, 3, 500. You can see it doesn't even, by May, it's 548 a day. Over here, we're at 15. But that 1.86, because it's fixed, these to me are harder. And then, or excuse me, these are easier because the balance is lower. But when we get up here, we're trying to make $12,000 a day, $7,000 a day. Here I have 5 and 6. It's half that amount. I wanted it to be easier. So I'm trying to front load with the percentages here, if that makes sense. But I have no doubt we could do it either way. Oh my gosh. All right, we need to turn this guy down. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. So maybe I'll add this, because then you can go through here and you can adjust the percentages how you want, or you can just add let's say we said we're going to do a 3% daily target over here. If we did a 3% daily target over here, every day you did 3% for the month, right? You can see we would have $11 million, and it's actually doable. It's actually doable. 3% is a doable balance, but where you run into trouble is towards the end. You're going to have table limit issues, right? Because down at the end, we'll go back to it real quick. Down here at the end, you're having to make $174,000 a day, which means your bets are going to have to get big, which you're going to run into table issues. So for the balance, obviously we have $1 million, $2.7 million. You definitely could do it if you had a really, really high limit table. And our table limits here are 50,000. So you could possibly do that. I guess you would have to be betting $50,000 a spin or something, because you'd have to be making 10 grand per spin. So that one's, you can see how compounding interest works for you or against you. So that's why I tell everybody, get your Roth IRAs, get your IRAs started as quickly as possible. If you have children, get them a Roth IRA started as soon as it's legal to do so. Get them a regular traditional IRA as soon, and get them an education account started if they're young. That way, by the time they turn 18, 19 years old and they're off to college, you have that and you don't have to sit there. And that's what I did for my daughter. I started, when she was just a little tiny kid. I think I started her education account when she was 1, maybe even before that. And I just started putting into it every year. And by the time she was maybe 8, 7, 8. I already, oh, dude, this guy is no bueno for us. All right, that's our second progression. So we're going to the third progression, and then that'll be it. So we're going here. This guy looks like a chunky Henry Cejudo. So anyway, by the time she was, I don't remember, maybe even 6 years old, I had already put in enough there, and I had put it all into Apple, that by the time she was that age, it was already at, I want to say it was already like at $20,000. And then I tapered off how much I was putting into it. And by the time she turned 18 and was going to college, that fund had already grown up to, it went at one point as high at the time. All right, we're out of here. This dude is bad news. Okay, so we're down. We're going to take a break. And we're going to go somewhere else because this dude is bad news. We're just getting bad spins there. Okay, so we're going to come here and I'm just going to lowball my bets. I'm just going to bring my bets way down, and you can either stop and take a break. I don't want to stop. I want to continue on. We're going to bring our bets way down and see how we do here instead. Looks like we would have been doing pretty up. There's a 36-0 and a 36, but we would have recovered by then. We're just going to go down to $5 bets, and then we're going to go play a couple other scrats after we get a couple under our belt. Anyway, so then by the time she was in college, I mean, the education account had compounded into $100,000, and I had stopped putting into it after she was probably 10 or 12 years old. I hadn't put anything and just let it grow on its own. And now I actually never even pulled money out of there. I just paid for her college as I was going because I wanted that to continue growing. And that way you can transfer that education account into a different name. So when she has kids, I'm just going to hold on to that. And can you imagine, by the time she has kids, you get another 18 years after that. This thing, I think, will at least be doubling every 7 years-ish. So I put it all into Tesla. Remember when I was doing the 100K challenge, I told you guys I'm putting everything into Tesla because I think Tesla's going to explode. And it did, right? It almost doubled. So that education account now is worth around 200K. And I'm just going to leave it alone. I might take a little bit out for her to give her a jump start, because between the flight school and the college, but then lately she's been focusing on that. So she hasn't been able to work. And obviously she's been maxing out her Roth IRA as I tell her to do. And so I'm going to give her some seed money. So I'm going to withdraw rightfully, because I have college expenses I can write them off against. And I'm going to just give her that money so that she has a little bit of seed money. But her kids are set. So if you do that, you're going to have you'll have old money in the family for generations if you do it right, where your kids and their kids and their kids won't have to worry as much about education funds, right? And the one thing that I told my daughter is, I don't believe in paying the entire way. I think you need to earn your own stuff. So even with my daughter, she was flying and she was working while she went to college. So I paid most of it, but she still had to pay things along the way. So I told her when she has her kids, my grandkids, they're also going to have to earn their way through college as well. It's not just to sit back and you go to frat parties or sororities and you play around. And actually, if my kids join a frat or a sorority, I'm going to be very disappointed. I'm just teasing. It wasn't my thing. I'm diverting. If you were in a frat or a sorority, I'm not bashing you whatsoever. It just wasn't my type of thing. All right, we're going to go regular. Let's go regular 9 Street, 1, 2, 3, and see how that works for us. What do we got up here in our bets here? Centipede 3, 5 double streets goalpost, 3V, Romanowski, Mickey Mouse 1A. All right, we're just going to leave this one. We'll manual. I wish they had. That's why I like the beater table. I guess we could go to the beater table if we're going to play 9 Streets. All right. Anyway, there's my piece of financial advice. Get in early. Let compounding interest be your friend. get it started. It's no work, man. And when you look at your martingale, right, I think it's more visual when you pull it up this way and you go, wow, if I start putting in money now and I'm putting in a little bit, I mean, it just grows so fast. And it's scary when you look at it from when we go to the progression chart, then you just see how scary that is from a betting perspective. But if you think about that as an investment perspective, then you go, wow, that's pretty awesome. I'm going to leave my bet purposely normally I would bring this down 1 unit to break even, but I'm going to go ahead. It's a $90 bet, which I think is very fair and within the range since we have a bankroll of over $16,000, but I'm not going to go too risky. We lose like on this one again, I'm going to pause the video and we're going to take a break. And we've been going now for 15 minutes. I'm going to try to keep this video short, so we'll see where we end up. I don't want long videos. I'm going to try to keep this one around 15 to 20 minutes in the future. I wasn't planning on losing this much. Do we ever, right? All right, there we go. 11, and I'm going to switch over to reverse. Oh, we lost that one. Damn it. I was thinking 5 double streets. All right, here we go. 180 bet. And we'll see. Boy, just a rough day, but that's okay. We're going to have these rough days. Not going to chase too hard. Like I said, I think anything under $2,000 is, at least for me and what I'm used to, is an easy recovery, fairly easy recovery, but I don't even want to get to that. So for sure we lose this one and phew. And we would stop and I would just call it a day at that point and maybe come back and play a little bit later. So we'll see what happens. Let's see if we can recover. We need one more win here and that get us back. Or maybe we should need one. 595. This is going to get us $60. So we'll see how it goes. All right, man, I am so done with winter. It's been cold and wet here in Oregon. Brr. Cold for us. I mean, it was like 35, 36 degrees here yesterday, and it was foggy and damp, and it's just cold. All right, there we go. What does that get us back to? We had a peak here of 580. That gets us 565. Good enough. We're going back down to base bet. I'm not even in a rush to fully recover right now either because we're in such good position. We're in pole position right now, so I don't really want to risk too much about it. But man, if I haven't heard, I will be in Vegas from February 22nd to March 6th. So about, 12 days or so. I'll be there. Brad will be there from the 23rd to the 26th. He has a buddy coming down to meet him, so he won't have as much time to be on the casino floor. But if you are in the area or you're looking to get to Vegas and have some fun, come on down. I'll be gambling every single day, every single night. And that's the kind of nice thing about being there for longer periods of time. You don't have to worry about winning everything back. You don't have to worry about, because you can take your time. You can play low and slow. If you're not feeling it, you can leave and don't feel like, oh my gosh, I only have one more day here. I've got 12 days there. So it's sort of, when I go there, my methodology normally is to try to pace myself for the first couple of days, just kind of ease into it. Don't lose a big amount of bankroll. And then it's almost like the progression schedule here with the $1 million challenge. As the days go further and further closer to my departure date, my bets can start getting bigger and bigger and bigger because I won't be there much longer. And if I happen to lose all my money, then at least I'm going home, right? I can't do anything about it at that point. And I never go to the ATM. Never go to the ATM. All right, there we go. There was 2 at that bet size. All right, there we go. We can go back down to $5 units, I think. Yep. I don't go to the ATM for a couple of reasons. That is a bad habit for me. I think it's a bad habit for anybody. Take the amount of money that you are willing to risk and to spend to have a good time. And when that money runs out, you're done. So I have what I call my casino wallet, which is one of those really thin wallets that you basically fits my driver's license, one credit card, my casino player card, and cash. And actually, the cash doesn't even fit in there because when I go down the casino floor, I'm usually bringing anywhere per day. I come down to the table with about $2,000 to $5,000. So now I wear a waist fanny pack type thing, but a real thin one that I actually bought for traveling. It's like an RFID blocker type thing. But I put my cash in there, and then it's under my sweatshirt. And if you have it in your wallet or you're putting it in your pockets, I've dropped wads of cash out of my back pocket because I shoved it in there real quick. Same thing with chips. I shove it in there, and then boom, I've dropped $100 chips on the floor, $500 chips. Luckily, I've had good people restored my faith in humanity a little bit who've said, hey, you just dropped a chip. I'm like, oh crap. So I don't do that anymore. That was stupidity. So now I bring like a little fanny pack. I put it under my stuff so you can't see it. And I put my cash in there. I put my chips in there. And that way I can keep track of it better. And I might even bring like a little satchel type purse, coin purse, and put my chips in there because sometimes when I leave the table and I have value chips, right? Value chips are chips that you can play anywhere in the casino. They actually have a value versus the color table chips are only good at a certain table, right? So, but then they become loose in my thing, and it's if I put them all in a little satchel, then put in my thing, then it's a little bit easier to keep track of it. Not a big deal if I have $5, $10, $5 or $25 chips, but when you're walking around and you got some big ass chips in there, I don't want to lose those. So I'm still trying to perfect the way to carry around all this money and stuff in the casino, because I hate getting to the table and you pull out this wad of cash. So I try to pull out ahead of time what I'm going to exchange for, so I can just lay it on the table and people don't see me opening up my purse and pulling out, a wad of cash out there and going, oh, maybe we should follow him back to the elevator. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're kicking butt here. We're doing well. Look at this. We're down to 490. What was our low here? Our low was 685. Prior to that, yeah, so we're doing all far. Our low is 685. We're at 490. So we're already ground back $200. I'm going to call it quits here in just a couple more minutes. I'm going to, after this, if we win this, I'm going to switch up and show you a different version of 9 Streets. And on that one, I've played it before. I'm going to do a video on it. So I'm not going to explain it or go too deep on it, but I played it the other day during a live session and it worked out pretty well. Just happened to work out well, but I'm trying to remember. Okay, but first what we're going to do is let's go to Mickey Mouse. We're going to go to Mickey Mouse and play Mickey Mouse through a couple times with a low bet. So this is a $10 bet. Remember this, the nice thing about Mickey Mouse is it's a $10 bet, but if you win on this first progression, you win 80% of your bet amount. So we'll win an $8 profit if we hit on any of these on this. So I like Mickey Mouse. And for reasons I've already explained, I like it because the way I create the progressions stay fairly low. Look at that, that's a nice $8 win. There we go. Play this a couple times. So I'm going to bring up the spreadsheet one more time, and I'm going to try really hard to keep around the per day and not get into the where I'm making $46.30 a day, or I'm playing and making for it. And on one hand, it seems like a good idea, right? But on the other hand, if you're playing for these $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 days when our target is only 200 some, it just means we're very more apt to get into trouble, right? Because the bets are going to become bigger. You're playing longer. We're going to try to keep the sessions short. If we lose down like this, I'm only going to do a couple more bets. Okay, we negative 459 or 400 for this session. I'll come back a little bit later and play it back and just grind throughout the day, little small bets like this, and we'll break even today. Or I probably will keep playing, but I'm going to get up to $200-$300 today and be done. Now, keep in mind, the saving grace with this challenge too is it's not a saving grace, but the nice thing about this challenge is everything counts, right? So when I get my daily reward here and in Shuffle, and I get my weekly and I get my monthly, those alone, because of the amounts that I'm playing with, will reach my target by themselves. I think my daily right now, because this the last 5-6 days on shuffle, I was just taking that money and just risking it. My daily over there is like $680 a day. So I could literally do nothing here and just run out my daily over on shuffle and over here on stake and be close to $1,000 a day doing nothing. Now that's not going to last because, like I said, I'm stake. Unfortunately, Stake US has a $9,000 a day deposit limit. So that's one of the reasons why I don't have all my money over here from shuffle, because you can only pull over so much every day. But once I continue to pull money out of shuffle, then my daily over there will go down to nothing. I mean, my daily here is, it's going to crank up now, but up until this point, my daily has been, because I haven't been playing on stake. So I think my daily here is like $9 a day. So it's not much, but between the weeklies, the dailies, it's going to average out to about $1,000 a day right now between shuffle and stake. So if you average all the bonuses together, it's going to be averaging out pretty nicely. All right. I wanted a loss so we can just go through the Mickey Mouse progressions. Let's go. So the second progression, we're just, oops, we don't want that. We're just going to add 1 unit on the 5 corners, the 5 non-overlapping corners on there, and this will get us break even in 1 hit. Won't profit, but it'll break even in 1 hit. And we only had to add 5 extra units to it. So we started out with 20 units. Now we have 25 units. If we lose this one, it's even less units to go up to the next progression. So that was my idea about this one. Create a really good recovery system that pays really well on the first hit. But if you lose, the progressions for the next couple hits, the next 2 progressions are relatively low. All right, here we go. And we add 4 more units, and that's it. So we went from 20 units to 25 units to 29 units. Not terrible at all, right? At least I don't think so. Now on this one, this will not be a 1-hit recovery. If you want to make it a 1-hit recovery, Brad likes doing that. He adds extra units to these corners and such. And so he's calculated it out that every progression goes into recovery or profit. So it's a steeper progression, but you're minimizing the number of, you're minimizing the number of hits it takes to recover. So now we go after the 3rd progression, we're just straight martingaling. And the recovery still is pretty good. I think 2 hits recovers no matter how far you go down. I believe I haven't gone that far into Mickey Mouse, so I'll have to play with that. But I'll be doing a refresher video. We did a video a while back on Mickey Mouse. I'll do a refresher video on it. We're coming up here to 28 minutes, so let's recover and call it quits for the day. All right, let's go. And I'm kind of getting my footing back on these videos and making videos again. So apologies if these are a little bit on the boring side and stale side right now. Oh, come on. Holy macaroni. All right, that's all right. We got to expect that. We're only covering 20 numbers. And we're at a $58 bet. So this will be good to see. Our recovery point is 443. So I really wish that the information in this graph had the information that we have on Clever Bets. On their live stats graph, they show us what was the biggest bet we had to place, what was our profit high, what was our profit low. I like that information. Here, you kind of have to go over, and if you've watched the live stat graph, you'll notice that sometimes it's hard to get this thing on dips. If you're continuing on it, sometimes you can't get it to go. There we go. There's a hit. Like I said, we need to get back to minus 443. Where does this take us? Minus 459. Yeah, so we don't even, I'm going to be lazy. We don't even need this big of a bet. You could half this bet back down to 1. So that's when it's nice to have the favorites. I save Mickey Mouse 1, Mickey Mouse 2, and Mickey Mouse 3. I save those as separate bets. So in other words, Mickey Mouse 1 is the 20 numbers. I save that as a favorite. And then with nothing else on the board, I just put the 5 corner bets on. That's it, not the other 20. I save that as Mickey Mouse 2. And then on a clean board, I save the 4 corner bets as Mickey Mouse 3. That way, when you're playing, if you decide you want to add extra bets, you can individually add the 20 numbers. You could add extra 5 corners. It just makes it a lot easier that way. All right, we lost on that one. We're going to martingale again. We're up to a $116 bet. We lose here, we're done. We're done. We are done. We'll stop. I don't want to go below our lowest point here, which was 685. This would get us really close to that low point. So we'll just stop. We'll take the loss and I'll grind it back later this evening or this afternoon when I come down and play. Oh, and it's a loss. They just decided to suddenly start hitting the third column, jerks. All right, that's it for today. We're going to call it minus 633. We're going to come here and today's balance, we're just going to go plus that. I have my balance. I like doing it this way. I could just put my total balance because when I come back and play later, I can come up here and kind of see the history of my play sessions. That's why I do it versus just coming into here. I could have just written down the 16,827 in there, but I like to see the history. All right, that's it. I'm not going to be recording these every single day, but when I can get a chance, I'll try to make them as daily as possible. I'm not tracking the day like day number 5, day number 6. I'm not doing that because I'm not really tracking it like that, like we did day 1 through day 365 or what it was last time. But I'll have the history here and we'll just keep going. So if you have questions or comments, definitely, I am always open to constructive comments, constructive criticism that's legit. If you're just trolling, whatever, I won't respond anymore. But get on our Discord. You got the Clever Bets coupons. You got this linked if you want a sheet like this. We have progression trackers. We have some cool, for those of you that like history trackers of what numbers, columns, corners have been hitting so that you can bet on the cold or the hot ones. SoCal made a really good sheet there. We have all sorts of stuff, 100% free. We don't charge anything other than Clever Bets, which is the third-party software, the auto betting tool. That legitimately is a purchase, but we have the best discount available. So jump on there if that interests you. I'm going to actually make a video today again about using Clever Bets. All right, that's it. Be good humans. Be good to each other. Be good to yourself. You know, if you get rinsed on this or you get busted up, don't be hard on yourself. Lesson learned, try and try again, and just be better every single day. It happens to all of us, so don't be too hard on yourself if that happens to you, okay? So anyway, all right, that's it. Happy Friday, everybody. I'll see you next time. Be good humans. Cheers.